Hello everybody, I'm Sensei Justis, and today I'm going to run you through a typical pre-Skillz program class that you guys can actually practice at home. So to start off, and Jackson here is going to be my helper, we're going to work on our animal drills as a bit of a warm-up to get our muscles ready to start moving around. So what I've done is I've laid out 4 of our dots that we use in class down on the ground, but you can use either your backyard if it's good weather, or if you have a long hallway in your home, or just any kind of somewhat large space in your home where you can do at least a couple repetitions of each animal drill for maybe 5 reps or so, as they say in gym lingo. So Jackson is going to stand right at the end of my first 2 dots, and the first one that we're going to do is the bear. So Jackson, what you're going to do is you're going to do your bear all the way down to these dots and then all the way back, and I want you to do it 2 times back and forth, okay? So ready, Jackson? Go! So Jackson's going to get on his hands and his toes, and he's going to walk on his hands and his toes from the first set of dots to the second set of dots and back, and then he's going to go again. Now, normally in class, we would do these from one end of the mat and all the way back to the other end of the mat. So it would usually be a little bit faster, but this will work perfectly fine. All right, Jackson, you ready for the next one? So the next one we're going to do is the frog. All right, so you're going to do the same thing back and forth twice, all right? So Jackson's going to squat down, and he's going to try to jump as high as he can for his frog. And he's going to go around one more time. Good job. All right, Jackson, you ready for the next one? All right, so now you're going to do the kangaroo. So remember, for the kangaroo, you're going to try to hop with both feet at the same time, and you want to try and hop as far as you can. So let's see if you can get all the way to the middle part or even further with that first jump. So ready? Go. Oh, that was a good one. Good job. Good job. Nice. Awesome. All right, you ready for our last one that we're going to do? Okay, so our last one is probably your favorite one. We're going to do the horse. Okay, this seems to be everybody's favorite one. So Jackson is going to stand sideways in what our big kids kind of call our horse stance, and then he's going to slide his feet together and his feet apart, and when he goes fast, it'll look like he's galloping. There we go. Good job. And that concludes our warm-up. So our warm-ups, especially with our animal drills, really works with their developmental stage and their physical development. And one of the main things that they're working on with their age is being able to cross their center line and also being able to jump with 2 feet or being able to jump distances with 2 feet. So exercises like the kangaroo and the frog are really, really good for them because it makes them jump either really, really high or really, really far with both of their feet at the same time, working on strengthening those leg muscles. And then their bear is really, really good for also strengthening their upper body. All right, you ready for the next part? Okay. Well, pause, don't pick up the dots. This is the transition part. All right, so now we're just gonna work on a little bit of some stretches. So we're just gonna do washing machine, and then we're gonna do our tree. So remember, hands or fingers, wrists, elbows, shoulders, touch your trunk or touch your toes, and then big arm circles the other way. Well, I like to say like bend at your trunk, and then we'll do butterfly. Okay? So can you stand, my darling, right here for me? Are we like about centered? Yeah. Okay. All right, ready? Okay. So now for our next part, now that we've warmed up our muscles and we're ready to get moving, now we're gonna stretch them out a little bit. So to start off, Jackson and I are gonna start doing our washing machine stretch. So the washing machine stretch is really good because it's gonna help loosen up all those muscles in your core and in your back. And it's also really good because it's also gonna try to help to keep them and give them a little bit more control with their lower body, because ideally you want them to think about keeping their feet stuck in cement. So you see how mine and Jackson's feet don't move at all while we do this stretch. It's only our upper body that moves. And you can do this for about 10 to 15 seconds, however long you like. And then we're gonna move on to our tree. Are you ready for your tree? Okay, So now we're gonna reach up as high as we can, keeping our feet as flat on the floor, but reaching up as high as we can with our hands. And then we're gonna wiggle our fingers, get those finger muscles moving. And then we're gonna wiggle our hands, so we're gonna roll our wrists. And then we're gonna add our elbows to it. So roll our elbows, and then we're gonna roll our shoulders. And then we're gonna bend and try to touch our toes. Good job. And we like to do this one about 3 times in class, but you can totally do this more times if you would like. And as we do this in class, we normally will say each part that we're moving. So we'll say, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your hands, wiggle your elbows, wiggle your shoulders, and then reach down and touch your toes. And this is a great stretch because it's going to really work on releasing all of those joints that we're wiggling. And it's also good because it also helps to try to teach them the different parts of their arms and the different parts of their body. All right, feel pretty stretched with that one? Okay, now we're gonna move on to our big arm circles. So this is another one that's gonna work out and really work on stretching our shoulder joints. And with this one, we're just trying to go big, slow arm circles. And we're gonna do a few going this way, and then we're gonna go the other way. So we're gonna reverse our circles. So this one's good because it's working at the arms. It's also giving them an opportunity to work on body control, making sure that they're going slow and they're not going really, really fast. And it's also working on their direction skills of can they go one way and then go the other way. And now we're gonna do our little ones. These are our baby arm circles. So now we're gonna do little ones. So this one be a little bit tenser. And we're gonna do baby arm circles, a couple rotations one way, and then we're gonna go the other way. So this one's really working on their depth perception and their ability to go from big movements to little movements, so working on more fine motor skills. And then it's also gonna work on their direction skills, just like with the big arm circles. All right, you ready for the last stretch? This is your favorite stretch? No? It's not your favorite stretch? It's my favorite stretch. So we're gonna sit down on our bums and we're gonna put our feet together and we're gonna try to get them as close to our butt as we can. And then we're gonna flap our wings. This is your classic butterfly stretch. Now with this stretch, we're obviously working on our leg muscles here. And I like to go and do it fast a couple times. Try to flap your wings as fast as you can and then go really, really slow. So with this, we're working on their listening skills in addition to doing our stretching. So we're working on, can they do movements fast? Can they do movements slow? Can they do movements, big movements like our fast flaps? And then can they do slow movements that are small? So working on their fine motor skills versus their gross motor skills. All right, Jackson, how do you feel? Do you feel pretty stretched out? Okay. So now we're gonna move on to the next portion of our class, which is gonna be working on our slap outs. All right, so for our next portion of the class, we're gonna work on our slap outs. So one of the things that we try to focus on in this class, because let's be honest, children that are 4 to 6 years old are usually a little clumsy. Aren't we a little clumsy, Jackson? So we tend to fall a lot. So one of the things that we try to do is we try to teach them how to fall safely. So Jackson is gonna help me show how to do a slap out. So this is gonna work on trying to fall safely going backwards. So I'm sitting crisscross and Jackson's sitting crisscross, and I'm gonna be your front view and Jackson's gonna be your side view, so that way you get to see 2 different angles of it. So the first thing that I'm gonna do and Jackson's gonna do is we're gonna give ourselves a great big hug, and then we're gonna tuck in our chin. And when I say go, Jackson is gonna fall back. Ready, go, Jackson. And he's gonna slap his hands down on the mat, and then he's gonna sit up and go right back in that position to do it again. So the main things that you wanna work on is keeping your hands crossed, so giving yourself a nice tight, great big hug, and then keeping your chin tucked. If you keep your chin tucked, I promise you, no matter what, you won't hit your head. And then when he falls and he goes back, ready, go, Jackson? He wants to make sure that he goes all the way down to where his shoulders are touching the ground, and then he slaps his hands down on the mat. And then he can sit up. Ready, bud? Ready, you're gonna do 2 more. Can you do them normal speed for me? Ready, go. Nice job. And then ready, 1 more. And good, nice job. All right, and that's our slap out for the day. Nice job, buddy. All right. Whew. All right, so for our next portion of the class, I've enlisted the help of Miss Virginia, and we're gonna work on our pad drill number 1. All right, so the first thing that Jackson's gonna do is he's gonna get in his ready stance. So he's gonna put 1 foot forward and 1 foot back, and Miss Virginia is gonna squat down so she's a little bit more to his level. Now parents, if you're working with your child on this at home, you totally don't need any of the hand pads like we have. You can use oven mitts, or you can even just use an open hand. I promise you your child probably isn't strong enough to hurt you. All right, so ready, Jackson? So the first thing that Miss Virginia is gonna do is she's gonna hold up the hand pads so that way Jackson can give her 2 big high fives, but we're gonna do them jab cross style. So Jackson is gonna use, ready, Jackson, can you raise the hand that's closest to Miss Virginia? So Jackson's gonna use the hand that's closest to Miss Virginia, and he's gonna give her a big high five with that hand first, because that's his jab hand. So ready, give her a big high five with that hand? And then he's gonna use the hand that's farthest away from Miss Virginia and give her high five there. So the thing that we're working on with their high fives at this point with this drill is being able to tell the difference between something that's closer and something that's farther away, and also being able to cross their center line. So now, instead of going from same side to same side, they're crossing and hitting the opposite hand pad. All right, so ready, Jackson, can you do that for me one more time, bud? So he's gonna go jab and cross. There we go. So now we're gonna add on the next portion of it, all right? So now Jackson's gonna go jab, cross. So ready, do you jab, cross? Good, good. And then Miss Virginia is gonna try to get him in the nose, and he's gonna do his push away and his push away. So the thing you wanna focus on with your child with this one, Miss Virginia, can you stand up for a second for me? Is that when she comes at my nose to do the push away, that I'm going to the outside, all right? So your child doesn't want to be pushing it with the same hand that they were using when they were hitting with their jab cross. You want them to be pushing with the opposite hand. So that way they end up on the outside of your body instead of, ready? If I go with the other hand, then I end up on the inside if I was using proper footwork, and then that would lead to a further attack. So ready? She's gonna squat down again, and he's gonna do his jab cross. So ready, jab cross, and then he's gonna do his push away. Good, good job. And now we're gonna do one more time, full speed. Ready? So ready, jab cross, and then push away, push away. All right, Jackson, you think you're ready for the last part? Okay, so we're gonna add the last part to this drill, which is the 2 knees. And you're just gonna do 2 rising knee strikes. So Miss Virginia is gonna hold the pads down, and he's gonna do the 2 knees. Just to show, perfect. And now we're gonna add the whole thing together. All right, you ready to do the whole thing? Okay, so he's gonna get in his ready stance, and then he's gonna do his jab cross, so closest and farthest away, his 2 push-aways, and then his knee strike and his knee strike. There we go. And then when we practice this in class, we usually like to do each step about 3 times, and then we add the next step, and then do the whole thing 3 times. So my friends, can you guys do it for me 2 more times? So ready? Jab, cross, whoop, push away, and then 2 knees. And then ready, one more, ready? Jab, cross, push away, and 2 knees. Good job. So these drills are really, really great for their age group, because not only is it getting them to use the left side of their body and the right side of their body, being able to cross their center line, but it's also making them remember more than 1 step at a time. So ideally for their age group, we want them to be able to memorize at least 3 steps at once, or in total rather. So going by each step at a time and practicing each individual part, so the jab cross, and then the 2 pushaways, and then the 2 knees, will help kind of build that foundation and really set those steps in stone and set that whole drill in stone. All right, ready for the next part? All right, on to the next section. All right, for the last section of this class today, we're gonna work on our kicks. So we're gonna work on that knee strike that we did earlier, and then we're gonna also add in a couple new kicks. So if you're practicing this at home and you don't have a punching bag top like we do, that's perfectly fine. You can do this in the air, or if you have a parent helping you, they can hold their hands out just like they did with the hand pat or with your combo drill, or you can just do it in the air or in front of a mirror. Either way is perfectly fine. So Jackson and I are both gonna get in our ready stance, right? So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. And the first thing we're gonna do is our rising knees, okay? So to practice our rising knees in the air, we're gonna put our hands out in front, and then we're gonna bring our knee straight up to our hands, and then our other knee straight up to our hands. So ready? We're gonna do that 2 times. Ready, Jackson? So back, and then front, and then back, and then front. And one more. Ready? Back and front. Good job. So that's our rising knee. So now we're gonna show how to do it on the bag, all right? So now I'm gonna hold the top of the punching bag, and Jackson is gonna put his hands on top too. And I'm just gonna hold it on the other side just that way it doesn't go all over the place. And Jackson's gonna get in his ready stance, and then he's gonna hit the bag, the front of the bag with his knee, and then he's gonna do it with the other knee. Great job. Ready? Can you do it one more time for me, bud? Good and good. All right, so now we're gonna move on to our next one. You ready for the next one, Jackson? Okay, so now we're gonna move on to our angle knee. So the angle knee is a little bit trickier to do on the air, or in the air, than on the bag, but I think you can do it. So now, Jackson, we're gonna get in our ready stance. Are you ready? And now we have to turn our hands for each one of our angle knees, because unlike our rising knee, which is going straight forward, right? Our angle knee is gonna come to the side. So we're gonna go front, so ready, front one, and then back one, and then front one, and back one, and front one, and back one. So ready? Now to do this one on the bag, and you'll really be able to see the difference between the rising knee and the angle knee on the bag, Jackson is still gonna put his hands on top just like we did with our rising knee, but now instead of hitting the front of the bag, ready, hit the front like with our rising knee, instead of hitting the front just like that, now he's gonna bring his knee to the side and he's gonna hit the side of the bag. Good job. Ready? One more time. Good job. One more. Give me one more. Nice job, buddy. All right. Now for our last one. You ready to get even harder? Okay. Because now we're gonna add our last one, which is gonna be an actual kick. So what our knee strikes do is they kind of build the foundations of our kicks. Because if you think about a front kick or a side kick or a turn kick, what's the first thing we have to do, right? We have to raise our knee, right? So our knee strikes works on building that leg strength and also building that foundation of getting a good kick, all right? So now we're gonna work on our front kick. So Jackson and I are both gonna get in our ready stance, right? And we're gonna put our hands up. If your child or you are having issues keeping your hands up, remember to keep your hands up. You can do your Abe Lincoln. So you can put your hands in your gi top or in your shirt. And that will help you get in the habit of keeping your hands up, which will help you keep your balance. And now, are you ready? We're gonna go back leg and then front leg, okay? So we're gonna bring our knee up and then out and then back and then down. Good. So ready? We're gonna go back leg and then front leg. Good. And ideally, for this age group, we're just working on kind of building their leg strength and getting them to be able to do all 4 of those movements and not hit things with their toes, but hitting with the bottom of their foot. So we're not super, super worried about them being able to keep their stance the entire time. It is something that we want to work towards as they get to being into the age where they eventually move up into the juniors class. But especially starting out, it's okay if they're kind of wobbling around a little bit. We do want them to get in the habit of keeping their hands up with this one though. So ready, Jackson? We're gonna do it 2 more times. We're gonna go back leg and then front leg, okay? Ready? So back leg, front leg, and then back leg, front leg. Good job. And you'll really be able to see the difference with this one when we do it on the bag. Are you ready, Jackson? So Jackson's gonna come right over here. He's gonna get in his ready stance. And now, instead of putting his hands on top of the bag like we did with our knee strikes, he's gonna do his Abe Lincoln, okay? So he's gonna rely solely on his balance to do this one. All right, and Jackson, do you remember what part of your foot we're gonna hit with?
The bottom.
Exactly, the bottom of our foot. So especially if you're using something like the top of a punching bag or a pillow even for them to practice this one on, you wanna make sure that your child is using the bottom, ideally the ball of their foot, to hit with, and that they're not hitting it with their toes. All right, so ready, buddy? So he's gonna go front kick, and then ready, other foot, and front kick. Good job. Can you do it 2 more times for me, bud? So 1, 2, and then ready, 1 and 2. Good job. All right, give me a high five, bud. That was awesome. And that concludes our pre-Skillz class of the day.